I remember sitting in a meeting, it was like a group setting, and my mentor was leading this meeting. So I'm sitting there, and I decided to ask him a question. Now, he has 4 different churches, 2 in Atlanta, 2 in New Jersey. And I was asking him, how do you keep your team, how did you not have chaos over here in one city when you're all the way down here? So I asked him that, and he told me that they have leadership meetings every Tuesday, online or whatever, via Zoom or whatever that looks like. And, and that's something that I've yet to implement. So we're going to implement that this year. I've been talking to my team, my leadership team more this year than I probably did a lot last year. So working on keeping the communication, consistent, not when it's a crisis, but just staying in touch, and just keeping the communication lines open is important, as you continue to grow. Because what we've experienced when we were growing real heavy in like that 2019 2020 window, what we experienced was that we had some disgruntled barbers, or barbers that felt like they weren't getting the they weren't getting the whatever it was they were looking for, they weren't getting it. so it was like, okay, we were able to do it when we were smaller, and then as we grew, we had so much going on that we it kind of diluted a little bit, and so it didn't have that family feel that we had when we first started. And so we had to go back to our roots and figure out, okay, well, what were we doing that had everybody happier when we had 2 locations as opposed to when we got to, I think at our biggest we had 14 at our biggest. But so what we did, we dialed back in, we did start communicating with our people more, kind of finding out what different team members need, because some barbers want to be mentored, some barbers want a father figure, some barbers may not necessarily want to work for us, but they want to work with us, right? And that's another thing. And then some people want to be congratulated and celebrated, and then other people, they want it done openly, and then other barbers want it done privately. And you can correct this one publicly, and then if you correct the other one publicly, it might be a fight, so you got to do that privately. So learning how to deal with every individual person on your team is a part of I guess leadership intelligence, and a part of your emotional intelligence. Now, this works way outside of barbershops. This is for any industry, whether you HR, whether you work at a factory, whether you work at a car dealership. If you manage people, just make an effort to, you can do the personality test, that can help, or just ask the person, how do you prefer to be celebrated? How do you prefer to be corrected? Do you want it done openly, or do you need me to pull you in the back room and talk to you like that? And then just kind of find out what works for every individual, and try to build, you can build systems, but even your systems gotta have some kind of sway. It's got to be able to bend a little bit. It can't be so stiff that because if it can't bend, then it breaks. So just learn to deal with every individual as needed.